Hello, guys. My name is Al, and welcome to another amazing episode of Jujustu Kaisen in a goddamn nutshell. And this time, we will talk about episode 41, Thunderbolt Part 2. And I think by far, this is the best episode of all of Jujutsu Kaisen. God damn it! I can't speak properly because this episode is so goddamn good. So let's get a few things out the way. At the beginning just starts off with Itadori with his grandpa, and his grandpa saying he is strong, so he has to help others. Then we just cut to Megami versus Haruta. Megarine running away, starting to talk about his 10 Shadows technique. I'm very confused about this technique. I don't know if anybody else is confused about the technique. And he talks about taming them. When he talks about taming them, and he's saying it was pointless when it wasn't a ritual, I think he means it's pointless when taming a Shikigami with a group of people. It means like you're fiddle. Like if you're trying to tame a Shikigami, it should be you against the Shikigami, so the Shikigami can gain your respect, or you gain the respect of the Shikigami. Not just, oh yo, let's just jump him. Let's just jump the Shikigami, and then this guy tames it. It doesn't work like that. That's why he's saying it was pointless. That's what I think. I don't know if anybody else has a different opinion. I'm not very into Jujutsu Kaisen, but anybody else can tell me in the comment section below. So after he gets his monologue done, we cut to him and Gojo. And Gojo says that there was a person with the same thing that Gojo has, which was 6 eyes and the limitless technique versus the 10 shadows technique. And that fight turned into a draw. Like they both died at the end of the day. I think that's what they said. Like they both died when they try to go up against each other. That's why the Gojo clan and the Zenin clan hate each other. But Megami's Fushiguro, I don't understand, bro. But then he gets up and he's saying, like, with this treasure I saw! So he gets up and he does his two-hand thing he was been doing every goddamn time in the season 1. And he starts his ritual. And this goddamn ritual was beautiful. It was a little cocoon, little caterpillar in a cocoon. Little by little, it starts breaking out of its shell. And when you expect a butterfly, you get goddamn Kratos. You get Kratos. Okay, let me get back on the script again. I mean, Mahoraga. But in that Japanese dub, they call him Magora. So after Megami Fushiguro summons Magora, he smiles and says, I'm gonna die first. So, good luck. And he gets bitch smacked! I'm glad that Jujutsu Kaisen got some inspiration from Demon Slayer, because as Haruta was about to die, he got a flashback about his curse technique and like some Demon Slayer type of thing because he was about to die. You know, like Gia was about to die? Yeah, like just like that. But then Sukuna, Big Daddy Sukuna, comes and saves him. And as he saves him, he sees Megumi about to die and he's like, hey kid, let me get you my special white stuff. I mean, reverse curse technique. And the biggest fight begins, Magora Kratos versus Big Daddy Sukuna. And call me impressed, MAPPA animators went all out for this fight. This fight was amazing. This fight was better than any Jujutsu Kaisen fight in the entire series. Better than Todo versus Itadori versus Hanami, Jogo versus Gojo. I would say this episode was better than Sukuna versus Jogo, which it was just last episode. The only thing that can top it is just the next fight that's going to be coming up. But we'll talk about that later. From this point forward, I'm going to be calling Mahoraga Magora, since in the Japanese dub they call him Magora. The H is silent, basically. It's like Spanish. So, Magora. Magora was just giving Sukuna the work of the century. Like, he was actually giving him a decent fight, unlike Jogo. Jogo barely gave Sukuna everything, like I said in the last episode. Magora was giving, like, the best thing in the entire series. There was this one point that Sukuna and Magora were just clashing fists. Well, it wasn't even clashing fists. It was Sukuna just blocking all his goddamn punches. But it just reminded me like an episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It was like Dio versus Jotaro. Like, oh my god. Mwah. Later in the fight, Magura just starts throwing cars to Sukuna like he was Wanda from Civil War. Then in the episode, he hears a clink. And that clink starts after he gets his face slashed. He starts smiling. And after he gets his face slashed. And then Sukuna was like, oh, what did you just do right now? Like, wait, what? And in this episode, you can see that Sukuna does not care about civilians. Like when they were in the building, he literally like destroyed the building. And the only one that survived was Magora. Magora was there. He was the only one that survived, and everybody died in the goddamn building. Sukuna just cares about a good fight. He does not give a crap about anyone else. As they continue to fight, Magora keeps adapting to Sukuna. And Sukuna's just getting excited, bro. When I see a baddie with a Gya! When I was watching this fight, I did not expect I was watching Evangelion, bro. The third impact was happening in Jujutsu Kaisen. When the hell did Evangelion get into Jujutsu Kaisen? Like, the third impact was happening right there in that exact moment. And then little by little, Sukuna does his sign. And he says, domain expansion. I meant to say it in Japanese. Ruki Tenkai Fukuma Mizushi. I try my best to say it in Japanese. I'm sorry if I offend anybody in Japanese when I said domain expansion and malevolent shrine. I just, that's the way I found it on Google. And I tried my best. But yeah, bro nerfed his domain expansion from 200 meters to 140 meters, and because he wanted Megumi to survive. So that's why he figured that would be the meter, that would be the radius that Megumi would survive. And while Magora was regenerating from the endless slashes, which it explains in the episode that this mantle is for non-curse users, or non-curse sorcerers, probably either or, and cleave is for cursed spirits or sorcerers, like anything that has cursed energy in it. Cleave was used for, and at the same time, Sukuna was preparing a fire arrow, and as he shoots the fire arrow, he says, Fuga. And just the most beautiful explosion happens that my eyes were like surprised. I was like, how can that be possible for an animation to do such a beauty of like an explosion? Like I can't, like, I have no words because it's so goddamn good. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit disappointed that Sukuna wasn't rolling Magora's wheel. Well, if they didn't add that, they could have had him smoking a goddamn cigar and be smoking on his back. As it finishes, like, Haruto looks at Sukuna, and then Sukuna's like, why the hell are you looking at me? I don't want you to look at me. Don't look at me. And then Haruto's like, I'm so lucky. And then boom, he gets sliced. His head gets sliced in half. And I think that's just because he looked at Sukuna funny. If you didn't look at Sukuna, then you would have been good. Sukuna then splits Megumi Fushiguro to Shoko and the president of the school. I forgot this president's name. Sorry. So he can get healed. And then he comes back. The audacity of this guy to come back to the area he literally decimated and say, Yuji, look, brat. He says, look, brat. Probably, yeah, just look, brat. And then Yuji just looks at the goddamn horror that just happened. And then he's like, kill me. And then he just claws the ground. Like, when you claw something so hard, your fingernails start bleeding. Bro, but his fingernails weren't even bleeding at all. It was everything. It was the point of his fingers that it was that was bleeding. And he was slamming his head on the ground and ground and ground. And then you have You Are My Special playing in the background. It just gave me literal goosebumps. It was goosebumps. This episode was literally one of my favorites from all the Jujutsu Kaisen fights. Like, I would say this is one of my favorite ones. It shows the power of Sukuna, 15-finger Sukuna, and it was amazing. We all know there's one more fight to come, but I don't know when that's gonna happen because there have been rumors going around. I don't know if it's false or true. I have to wait next week until the next episode comes out. I love you all. Subscribe, like, and share. And also check out my webtoon, The Gifted. It's better than Jujutsu Kaisen. Nah, I'm playing. It's not better than Jujutsu Kaisen. But give it a chance at least, please. I love you. Bye.